Hey guys, welcome back to the homestead. Today I'm going to give you a quick late summer garden tour. So let's go. Here we have our Mexicans, our gherkins, and some white mistflower that's about to bloom.
Yeah, and it's so pretty when all the little white puffs from the mist flower blooms all around the vine of the gherkin. It's really pretty, huh?
In this bed we've got some volunteer anise hyssop, some celery, a little bit of lettuce, and amaranth.
Yeah, and this is an amaranth that we grew like our first or second gardening year, and it just self-seeds every year, so we usually let one or two of them grow because they're just so amazing.
This is our butterfly garden. There's no butterflies right now, but there was a ton of them through the summer.
Yeah, this bed's full of anise hyssop. We had yarrow in here. This is a American Dream, coreopsis, ajuga, a little bit of yarrow, echinacea over there. Lots of things that the butterflies love, huh?
And this is some rose queen salvia.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Here we have some spearmint and wild morning glory.
Yeah, I know a lot of people figure this is kind of a noxious weed, but we just love how beautiful it is here in the spearmint bed. So we try and keep it under control the best we can and let it just hang out with our spearmint.
Here the ground cherries are just finishing up.
Yeah.
And we planted some turnips.
Yeah, we just planted a couple rows of turnips on the end of this bed here. And behind Esther is one of our beautiful hardy hibiscus. It's called Vintage Wine, and it's we thought it was petering out, but there's a whole bunch of new blooms on it, huh? Or new starts. So it looks like we're gonna have a whole lot more beauty coming from that as the early fall comes on. Esther just found some burgundy glow ajuga that is trying to root on the sidewalk. So she's gonna pull that out, and you gonna put that in your garden, sweetheart?
Probably.
I'm super excited about this fall anemone. Robustissima, I think is the name of it. So this is new to our garden this year, and it's so beautiful.
And right here we have some Russian sage.
Yeah, that's new to the garden this year too, huh? So beautiful. Lacy lavender blooms on kind of silvery foliage. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
And we've got some bronze fennel tucked underneath the hardy hibiscus here.
Right now in the white garden, there's a few things blooming. David phlox, Polaris coreopsis, Astra semi-double white balloon flower.
That's a mouthful, huh?
Yeah. Polar bear zinnias.
So across from the white garden, we've got a bunch of just kind of circular perennial beds. So Esther, can you show us some highlights of what's going on in the perennial beds? I guess we do have some annuals tucked in too though, huh?
Yeah.
Mostly a perennial space. So what's this, Esther Pie?
A little lime hydrangea.
Yeah, it's so tiny and cute. This is the first year. I think they do get bigger than this. But I just am so pleased that it has so many blooms the first year. They're so beautiful. Love it.
And over here is some blue mist flower.
Yeah, so beautiful. And this was just growing wild in our garden the first or second year, and I found out what it was and decided to just start planting it all around the garden, and now it's just thriving. It's so beautiful this time of year. And then over here on the edge of the turkey yard, we had a couple volunteer sour gherkin plants that are just doing fantastic over here. Oh my, we've got a harvest. There are a bunch of them, and they're so big. Got a bunch of those guys to harvest. Wow, look at this one. That is huge. Another huge one.
This is our sweet potato and bush bean jungle.
Yeah. We've got some purple sweet potatoes that we haven't harvested yet. It's almost time for them. We planted them late, so we're hoping that we can let them grow a little longer and then provide our bush beans. We also have some dragon tongue over here that haven't started producing yet, but they're almost there.
This is our fall kale bed.
Yeah, just planted a bunch of little baby kale plants in here for fall and going into winter. We'll probably cover this bed so that we can get some kale going later into the fall and early winter. Still have a few of these Purple Queen improved bush beans going, but they're just about done.
Next up is our fall carrot and radish bed. Here we have more volunteer assists up, and this is our fall cabbage bed.
Yeah, you can't see the cabbages yet because they're so tiny. We just transplanted them into this bed. But there's 3 different varieties in here, and we don't have a whole lot of success usually with fall cabbage, but I keep trying. Maybe someday.
Yep. Over here is our chard bed.
Yep, chard. And I just harvested a bunch of the parsley for drying.
And this bed is full of all kinds of flowers.
Yeah, particularly we've got a lot of this Verbena bonariensis in here that we planted for the first time this year. So beautiful, huh?
Yeah.
It's a little Janie Gara plant. Echinacea, yarrow, thunderhead sedum. There's still some phlox down in there. Some Carlie rose grass. Little tiny primrose. Esther toes. Homestead purple verbena. And the grasses are so fun, huh?
This is purple ball basil.
Yeah, first time growing that. So fun. Next to it we've got a bunch of lemon balm, some more of the Russian sage, comfrey.
Comfrey that won't go away.
Right. And then we've got some lemon basil over here. Some lemon drop peppers that I'm hoping are going to make it. They're starting to be little blossoms, but oh wait, there's a little pepper started. Yay!
Purple ball basil.
More purple ball basil. And then we've got all of our strawberry beds over here that we're just about ready to refresh, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We'll fill in all the gaps, take out the old ones, give them some fresh sawdust probably, maybe some fertilizer. Just get them all tucked in and ready for next spring.
Yep.
We have a big volunteer squash over there. It's a type of acorn squash. I think this is called sweet dumpling. This is another hardy hibiscus that's back in bloom. It took a break, but now it is going again. So beautiful, and here comes the sun. So this is some more basil here, huh? This one's called Emily. It's like Genevieve's basil, but a little bit smaller and more compact. And some more basil, some jalapeno peppers. Those are fun. They're like jalapenos, but they're not spicy. That's nice.
Now I'm under our double arch shells with purple pole beans.
Yeah, and they are still producing a bunch.
And we just planted beets and kohlrabi under the trellis for the fall.
Yeah, so these beds over here have just some little baby kohlrabi and beet plants. The beets, I think the seed must have been old because most of them didn't germinate, so we just kind of spread out mostly kohlrabi in both of these beds.
Yeah.
And we planted those a few weeks ago, and they're kind of slow going, so I hope that they speed up and mature in time to enjoy them before it gets too cold.
Yep. Here's a new marigold variety.
Yeah. This is one we just tried this year that's so beautiful. I love it. I think it's called American Eskimo. We got the seeds off of Etsy. Really like it. It took forever to bloom though, huh? We kept waiting and waiting, and it just actually started blooming about a week or so ago. And it's the first week of September, so These take a while, but they are worth it. They're super pretty. Oh wow, that is so beautiful. We planted some dahlias in here. I can't remember the name of this variety off the top of my head. I'll see if I can find it and put it on the screen, but so beautiful. And then we've got our wild violet petunias in here as well. And a little zinnia. So pretty. There's a little dove. Now we're kind of in the back part of the garden, past the apple trees. We've got pears growing back here. That are just about ready to harvest. And we also have Esther Pie's garden back here. She's got some lovely mist flower growing, some gorgeous dahlias. That's the Melody Dora one right there.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Some amaranth that just decided to grow and flop because we just had rain. She's got some tomatoes back here. She's got a beautiful combination of zinnias and Madam Butterfly snapdragons and poppies. These poppies have been going all summer long. They're amazing.
What's that? What is that?
Oh, there's another zinnia tucked in there, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oop, there goes a frog. I think. Is that a frog or a bunny? Something big just hopped away. Our new peach trees are getting huge.
That's getting big.
I know, these are brand new peach trees back here and they're just putting on so much growth this year.
On this trellis we have some Malabar spinach and Marketmore cucumbers.
Yeah, we just harvested our first of the Marketmore cucumbers. Our first batch that we did in the spring didn't do anything. All the plants just died. But this time around we're actually going to get some cucumbers, I think. There's a bunch of teeny little babies on here. So hopefully we'll get a bunch of yummy cucumbers before the first frost.
Yep.
And on the other side we have more purple pole beans growing. Here's a late planted zucchini that, oh, it has a little teeny baby on it already. Cool, I planted it really late hoping that the bugs wouldn't bother it as much. And we'll see if we get some good zucchini off of it before the first frost. Garlic chives are everywhere right now in bloom. We're going to have to come and deadhead these very soon or we'll have thousands of baby chive plants next year. Anything else in this garden you want to share before we move on?
Well, there's a tomato.
Oh right, we have some volunteer tomatoes, guys, that we've been getting lots of cherry tomatoes off of those. They're out of control. Pretty soon we need to see if the chufa is ready back here, huh? We planted chufa nuts in with the asparagus here. So we'll be harvesting those soon. See how they did. And it looks like we have some asparagus to harvest here. Usually that's the spring harvest, but every once in a while you get some in the fall too, huh?
Yep. So those are the highlights for the kitchen garden. Now let's go see what's happening in the front garden. Something new.
Yeah, we've got something new happening out there. Ah, that's very curious. Hey guys! They're trying to hide under the fig tree. Well, hi, Spot. How you doing? Hey, buddy.
So we had a predator killing our ducks, and so this is the safest place we could find for them until we get our duck house built.
Yeah, we've really struggled with predators attacking the ducks. They're really vulnerable, and we've tried all sorts of different locations to keep them safe. But in the end, they just have to have a duck house to be put in at night. So what's our plan?
to build a greenhouse and let them go in there.
Yeah, we want to build a greenhouse, and it's connected right with the duck yard. So we're thinking of putting the duck house inside the greenhouse to make it mutually beneficial. So that's our plan, and hopefully we can get going on that soon, huh?
Yeah.
In the meantime, their new home is the front garden, and so far they're loving it. So Spot there is in a whole patch of yard-long beans that we did not get up on the trellises here, and so they're just laying all over the ground. A little challenging to harvest that way, but they just grew so big so fast we weren't able to get them all on the trellis. So that's what that is.
But they do have beautiful blooms.
They do. And also on this trellis we have more purple pole beans, and then what's on this side, Esther Pie?
Some black beans.
Yeah, this is the Cherokee Trail of Tears black beans that we've already had a first harvest of, and it's just loaded with new beans. So we're going to be probably in a couple weeks here doing another harvest when these dry out. There's the fig tree that we already had the first fig off of, and it's just loaded, huh?
Yeah. The first fig we got off, it was huge.
It was bigger than a golf ball, and you guys loved it, huh? I'm not a fig fan, but
I'm not that much either, but
yeah, but at least a few of the children loved it, huh?
And Daddy.
And Daddy, he loves them too, yep. And we still have some yams here, Mahon yams to harvest. Over on that side, we already harvested sweet potatoes. Those are curing in the root cellar right now. Unfortunately, a few of them split because of our early rains that we got. But most of the time, if the cracks aren't really deep, they still cure okay. The cracks dry up okay. It's just if you have really deep cracks that then you have to eat them a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Cool. Still have quite a few watermelon in here. Kind of hard to see, but they're speckled throughout this whole patch here where the yard-long beans have kind of overtaken this watermelon patch. But there's probably still half a dozen watermelon in here. All right, we'll go take a peek at what's growing in the patio in the main crop area. Sound good?
Okay.
Okay.
Right off the patio here is where we have most of our tomatoes. These are Celebrity and Pink Brandywine.
Yeah, cool.
And a bunch of parsley and basil tucked in around them. Right over here we just harvested a bunch of sweet potatoes.
Yeah, we had 3 different varieties out here. Purple, Beauregard, and Murasaki. And they did okay, not fantastic, but we got quite a few sweet potatoes, huh?
Yeah.
And we're only about halfway done with our sweet potato harvest. So even though it hasn't been a great year for sweet potatoes, we're still getting quite a few, hopefully.
Yep. The only thing left we have growing in the main crop is butternut squash. Because the main crop is not set up actually yet.
Yeah, we haven't set this main crop area up, but we had a pile of composted horse manure here, so we thought we might as well use it. So these are Burpee butternut squash, and they're doing really well. There's a ton of them. I know, Burpee. Burpee's the company. And over here is the site of the greenhouse that we want to build. It's going to have a block foundation. None of it's leveled yet. It's on a slope here, so we're going to have to get tricky with the build. But then where those geese are right there is actually where the duck yard is. So we'll be able to bring the ducks in from their yard and their pond area right into their housing in the greenhouse space. Ooh, we got butterflies out here, huh? The sedum is looking glorious right now. This is Autumn Joy sedum. So beautiful. And more garlic chives. Pretty. You have helped a lot out here this year, huh? Remember last year this whole swale was just covered with weeds.
Yeah.
And this year we've really worked hard. We've used a lot of bags and wood chips and planted a bunch of perennials out here. So there's still a lot of weeds, but it's much, much better.
Yeah. Look how pretty, oh no. Look how pretty these look together.
Yeah, this is a wormwood here, Artemisia, and one of our zinnias. I think it's Coral Beauty or something like that. So pretty. And you can see these zinnias from the house even, huh?
Yeah.
It's really pretty with the autumn joy sedum, the white blooms of the garlic chives, and then the pop of those zinnias. It's so beautiful. That's beautiful. Making room for the ajuga.
Yep.
Got a little bit wilty while we were filming, but hopefully it'll still root in nicely. She's got some burgundy glow ajuga over here, but a little bit of a bare patch, so she's going to fill in that spot there.
Well, thanks for joining us in the gardens today. And thank you, as always, to our patrons who make these videos possible. Until next time, we pray blessings over you and yours.
Whatever you do, do it with your whole heart.